Let's see. Cool. And I'll do some more of that as well. I know Will's got, he does the price projections a lot too, and he'll go more into depth with that and then how you can use that, overlaying that with what we're already using. Also, I just want to kind of ask anyone who's tried, has anybody tried setting alerts with the new indicators after we added the new alert system that in the previous update? I think I pushed it on Wednesday for all the indicators. Has anybody tried them, like with deviations, or for example the oscillator having this, like when there's blue dots on the 4 hour or the daily, or divergences 4 hour daily? Now that those alerts are all fixed, I just want to check if anybody has found those at all or used them yet, and what you guys think. If you want something new, or if you think it could be improved, I think it'd be really helpful. God, talking a bunch, you guys today. Jeez Louise. So yeah. Anyways, I'll kind of leave it at that then. Not a whole lot else going on in the market. We'll try and get we were hoping to get the on-chain metric one pushed to everyone in the Discord today. I might be able to push it in today, but I'll make an announcement to make sure everybody has access to it if we're able to. The documentation's coming for that as well. We're just, making sure we have everything checked off, so to speak. Also, the big Fireside, if you guys, I definitely recommend you guys come to it, is on Monday. That's with Mr. Bing. He's one of the heavy developers that we're using, or he works with us. He's part of the team for the indicator stuff. So he's nitty gritty down in the code more than I am right now. And he'll basically, as an example, the guy hasn't taken a manual trade in 18 months, but still made all the money in the bull market. So he has been bot trading everything from top to bottom, and is willing to show everybody how to do that. And we've created a system now with the new indicators, especially with the core trend and being able to tweak it, that we've been back testing it for about it'll be 4 weeks sometime next week. So we'll be able to show like back testable profit and loss just by the indicators, and I think it's on 1x, so it's on spot, which is nice. So you'll be able to see like the actual percentage gain or loss, and then obviously if you want to factor in small amounts of leverage. So currently I think it's up about, I want to be certain, I just checked it yesterday and I think it was up 40%, which is cool. We were trading it on like the 1 hour and stuff like that, which is fun. But we'll be able to show that on Monday as well. Other than that, basically we're just going to do a little market recap before we get out of here, and then the weekend stuff in case anything happens. We'll keep coding the alert functions in, because now that we've got them back tested and they work perfectly, we'll start that project as well. Anything specifically you guys are looking at? Yes, no, maybe not. Well, if you guys want, if it was anything specifically in the market you guys want to look at or had any questions about. Oh, fun. No, I haven't. No, I was showing like the price projection and stuff, and I didn't get any response from it. So, because that's you know what I'm talking about with the fibs.
Have you checked out Aptos? APT?
What? APT?
Aptos? APT? It's the new. It's the Facebook team that built the new.
Is it this APT USDT?
Yeah. Just launched. Someone was exit liquidity.
Yeah. Let me look at the perp on it.
Is there even one? They just launched it like the other day.
Jeez.
The wick though is fucking insane. I think it went up to 100 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's liquidity right there.
It was pretty hyped when they launched it. So I guess some people jumped on.
I mean, it's hard to. You can't trade this yet, man. This is hard to trade right now. Low time frame. It's too high risk. You said it just launched today. So that's the important one you want to see.
No. Yeah, it's been very hype because it's like I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, the Libra team or something behind the Facebook that got shut down. There's some people from Meta. So it's gonna be interesting to follow.
That's the whole marketing concept. Vitalik says good. Yeah. If I had to look at this right now, like the only thing that matters is holding this kind of center line as it's coming down. You can't even trade it on anything high time frame. If you're gonna scalp it, what are the moves like on this? Just like, these are 3-minute moves doing 3%. I mean, it's very volatile, man. Wait for this thing to come back down. If this thing now gains the daily, like gains above and then breaks like this, you could probably long that up into this structure. But locally, it's just coming back down now, and like, there's nothing you can even do about it. Like, this looks like you gotta wait for it to reverse. It's playing out a nice swing, though. I mean, like, it swings really nice, but it just seems, I don't know. I wouldn't trade it really. It's really low time frame. Maybe it farms out some stuff, but I'd say these are the important levels on the chart. Like that low, that's the important low and high, and then 7.036 and 7.396. That's the gain of the previous one locally, and this is the test of the current floor. And then you're just gonna farm levels out in between it. There's not even. It's a little too early, man. What was the other one you said came out? Is this it? I mean, yeah, there's nothing, literally nothing. That's a dead thing. The protocol. I mean, there's probably a better chart on like Dex tools or something, but locally I can't. Okay. Ah, okay. That's dumb. Yeah, that sounds like a rug and a half. Um, Let me just see real quick how we're at. Ooh.
Hey Chris, if you got a second, you want
Yeah,
to
what's
look
up?
at Raven coin? No trade, just been eyeing it for quite some time. RVN.
Yeah. Still holding. It's still farming out structure. I think if the dollar continues to dump right here, we might get squeezed to the upside on everything.
Do you think September play was still active? Mason, be quiet. The September
that's still the important one. That's the most important part in the entire like high time frame to low time frame structure, right? What's the gain, right? From the low, what have we done now? We've tested this floor. Have we tested the upside floor? Not really, kind of. So this looks good, especially the daily back test of the June level. That means that's still holding. Anything that comes back to the September, you can't lose September. If you lose September, you're going to run it all the way back down, like lower, back at least to this structure. Yeah, that's the sweep that still holds the lows from it, and that freaks me out a little bit. So if they do want to push it, maybe it is still printing out higher highs and higher lows on the high time frame. Oh shit. There we go. Right? The problem is, what has it done to the upside? It's fully tested upside and tested structure, like all the way up here. Like that's tested, and that was a test of this structure. So there's nothing left for it to do except break the local lows. And if it breaks the local lows, it's done. You do have the daily bullish divergence, which is fine. It's great. The rest of the market isn't doing that. So if this is the higher low, then it's literally right here, which I think... yeah. That's a bit of an iffy one, man. I don't like that. This is not like the cleanest stuff.
I'm confused. Green light or no green light? Based on what you're saying, no green light just yet.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't trade this. Like, no, that's just me. I just don't like the structure of it. Like, here's my mentality of it. Is that, you know, where is it gained? Where is it lost? Is it still printing out in the range? Okay, you're still technically, you know. Let me from that low. I'll change this to the range. Right, we're still in this range, still in this crabby ass range, which isn't super nice either. You can make that's probably the range, right? From that, so I'd rather wait for reaction as it comes back up to test this structure, which seems kind of midpointish for this total range. For me locally, I don't see anything that like says, you know, lovely long, you know, lovely short. For me, it's potentially gaining some local structure, right? Even on like the 15-minute, you know, we can make an argument that's some good basing structure. It's potentially gaining that basing structure, which is fine. The problem, what do we have above? A key level. So.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I'd wait, man. Like, this is like, I'm gonna be honest, and this is like a hard one. Like, this is something that I really kind of like harp on. The more I've traded, I definitely don't trade a lot over the weekends unless there's like outlying market conditions. So like I'll set up trades, but I won't have anything like on the book until something is action. So, you know, I have an alert set for this swing. If we break that swing over the weekend, I'm going to go jump on my computer. Why? Because if we do something like this and then we come down to there, I'd long that. That's just because in my head, that's testing the low of the swing versus the high of the swing. And a low swing test means we should probably retest the floor that we lost. That's just in my head, though. Like that's the way I look at those type of like reversals and reactions. And then I'm also looking at order flow, right? I'm looking at actual buyers and sellers and who's taking command at low time frame structure. So for here, I mean, like you can't say anything right now other than we're potentially going to squeeze a little bit. It just depends on the dollar right now because the dollar's coming back down. Nice big healthy rejection. It was holding the swing. It opened up the hourly like 18 minutes ago and it's already down. It's bouncing on the parabolic move and I'm still kind of like pinching myself because I think that's the best high time frame parabola I've ever drawn of how reactive it is. So we'll see what happens if it comes back down. We've only got a couple hours left, don't we? Yeah. Lower closes. If this thing now runs back up, this should be, if it runs back up from this low, it should break out of the local resistance and everything is going to leg down. if it does that. If it doesn't and comes back down to this level, which is it broke itself. There we go. And then starts bearishly testing structure, I'm gonna be super excited. But again, the dollar's only got a couple hours left in the day until it stops trading, right? Right now, I'm looking for local reaction, which is local gain, and that's regaining the swing that it lost. If we want to see more downside, currently it looks like it's popping down, testing itself, especially lower. So we want to see some basic test all the way down to the October, and any new low created from that low, we should go lower, and that would be really nice because then we're potentially breaking down structure instead of breaking up, which would be nice. But yeah, it has. Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. No, I have not checked those in a couple of days.
Hey, go why is Phantom? I saw Phantom's liquidity last couple hours. I believe yesterday it was super low for some reason. Phantom,
Yeah,
it's
Phantom's getting left behind by Sam and them, I think, by the look of it.
I was looking at the 5 minute, 10, 15 minute chart yesterday, and it's like it looks one of those like you remember those charts you said if it looks like that, never trade them. You know, if it's like there is no liquidity. Back in the bull market, Phantom was the shit. Like everybody was talking about Phantom, and it's gone.
Yeah, VeChain. Yeah, no. A lot of the DeFi projects should fail during the bear market, and the ones that survive, only a handful will do really well. Very few will ever regain their previous highs, I think. At least not any type of local rally. VeChain still looks pretty good. It's still holding its main level here. If VeChain holds the floor, higher time frame play, as long as it holds the floor, like if you're looking for some of these like macro swing plays, like high time frame swing plays, it's really simple. You're looking at to hold its local low, and you're looking to target the floor of the previous move. Like, and this is just kind of like a general high time frame play. And the reason I'm saying this is because where do we have volume gaps in the overall structure? Well, simple. We look at where the volume came up and where there's like no volume at all. There's at least no volume here, and there's low volume here, right? So in the weekly structure, that's the test that I'd love to see. Yeah, that risk reward is pretty damn good as well, and I think that's not unreasonable. For me, all of my main positions, I'm probably looking to start scaling in. If I am looking to add to any or build any longs, I'm probably going to wait looking into next week. But going into the end of the month, everything I'm on right now is super short, and it's kind of depressing because VeChain was one that I've been in, or I was in a very long time because I got in back after the COVID dump, just because it was a great project and it's got a high use case. But it's not marketed for what it is. It's basically like supply chain stuff. I think mostly based out of China, Australia. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, very much so. For the most part, and I think the general gist kind of goes into play here, right? The pattern that most of these are playing out is pretty similar to what the general pattern is on Bitcoin, right? And so Wyckoff model, right? This is generally speaking what we're looking for. I'm not specifically. This is the general area, the general idea of markets, right? That's the macro perspective of how it all works. We know that, right? Accumulation to distribution. We can pinpoint. That's why we see rounded bottoms as accumulation and rounded tops as distribution. Where was the best example in history on this? Literally the first run up. One of the clearest distribution models we've ever seen. Distribution like round tops, right? Now in the lows here, looking at the Wyckofian model stuff, a lot of them go off into the same thing of like breaking out all these different ST phases. I'm a big fan of Wyckoff. I think that the theory plays out very, very well. Most people get tied up and get lost in like the different phases and understanding stuff, especially when. Exactly. It's like the Elliott wave stuff, right? There's people who swear by Elliott wave, and then it's like, okay, if Elliott wave is 100% accurate and true, tell me where we're going. And then it's like, oh, but it's this, and this. It's based off of probability. And then it's like, okay, well, it's not really based off anything. It's just like where we went and where we can go, which is literally everything, right? The other one that we've kind of talked about as far as like breaking down into structure. The thing you kind of look for the most is a lower low from the previous low. In both overall structures, like we have a low, and then we have like a spring in the Wyckofian event, like the first schematic and the second one, with this low happening much further, much closer to the current price action than the previous ones. The problem that we have with this is that this also doesn't have a lot to factor in about liquidity and downside. What I mean by that is, the lows that were created on June, this all happened over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, when we made these lows, and they don't exist on, for example, the CME chart, right? Which there's a new CME report coming out today. I'll make sure I post that one. Right, so this is the CME chart. It doesn't have the lows because it never happened to institutional traders. Now, I'm not saying this is the thing. All I'm saying is that this happening to leverage trading is because of over leverage, which exacerbates price action in the market. So what we then look for is, can we pull any examples that we're, actually gaining something back? Because obviously the current price action structure is different from this one, right? Significantly. It's definitely not like the high, and it's definitely not like this little distribution or like this accumulation. So what does this price action structure look like? I know Will's the fractal guy. I'm not a fractal guy. I don't give a shit. But if you start looking at this structure, like what it looks more like structure that we might have had back in, the previous bull run or the previous bear market rally, that type of stuff. There's some argument too that we're back down in this zone. I don't think this is the floor move per se. There's nothing that really tells me that's the case, that this is the actual floor before we gain above. And then we have a longer accumulation phase and low valued accumulation. More than likely, we're farming out something in here as we start ping-ponging down. This will never happen again. If I go on the BLX chart, right, and go on the weekly, right, we'll never get this on Bitcoin, this kind of bouncy ball structure. It'll never happen again because there's too much liquidity in Bitcoin. That trades like a shit coin until the floor drops out. So where we are now, it's very simple. If the next high that we make from here, if we run up, if we don't make a new high and then stabilize above, like break the high and then stabilize above, like say 22.4, it's wrecked. And we're basically playing out a longer version of a shelf down move. Which again, I don't think I'm not sure exactly where we are. We are starting to arc up a little bit on like trend and stuff like that, only because we've made we're holding the lows based off of like the lows that registered in the market. Then again, we know that low was synthetic. It was basically created from over-leveraged idiots who liquidated us down. So if I'm looking for anything in the next couple of weeks, days, weeks, or whatever, it's this: is that we break down, we make a new low, and then we buy back up. Anything that does like that, I'm a buy it. right? Realistically, what you want to see is a gain back above like that, and then we start doing this. That's a V bottom. That's the V bottom structure that you have to like look for overall. And this is like macro analysis, right? V bottom structure needs two things. A, the buyback needs to be at least as violent as the downside, and B, ideally you gain the level that you were locally restricting at, and then create that as the new support. If you can do that, then that's a V bottom, and then that structure there starts looking really, really similar to, where is it? This structure here.
Is that something you can plug in the Wyckoff model?
To an extent. I mean, people even looking at this were like, "Oh, but this is Wyckoff." This. It's like, no, this is a bull market accumulation. That's as far as the models themselves. All you're looking for is to identify general accumulation and distribution areas where we are technically in accumulation right now because people are spot buying. We're watching that on the on chain stuff. The problem that we're seeing is that people are way too fearful, and most of retail has been completely flushed out of the market. But as an example, with like the whole V bottom thing, this is what a V bottom looks like, where you have what was previous restriction instantly gained on a buyback when it looked like it was going off a cliff. Caught me too. We were saying like, oh man, it looks like it's going off a cliff. I didn't even get long. It wasn't able to get long again until 38 because I missed that. I was like too paranoid about going off a cliff. And what do we have? V bottom is a violent move back to the upside, regain the levels that we lost, and ideally the local restriction becomes the local support. That's a V bottom. That's literally replacing the previous levels of restriction as demand, or supply as demand, and that's all that is. And then we're golden back to the upside. Have we gotten any of that? No, not yet. Right. So that's kind of like what we're looking for overall. And then that grind down would be something like I said, like that. It would be like, two big fat down candles in a day, and then 1 day or 2 days up, and then we start gaining back above October Q4. Ideally, if we do anything like that, and then we gain this and start basing there, that's going to friggin' send. Even though it's at like a local restriction, right? We can make that argument, absolutely. But there's too much to test above after sweeping the local lows. That means all of the local liquidities to the upside, which even now we're getting to points where most of the shorts are above us. Like most of the liquidity is in shorts above us. Because they keep wicking it down and taking the local things to the downside. That's kind of like the problem they're having right now is that, there's buyback, but it's not like significantly retail driven. This is mostly like accumulation. So we'll see if we actually get it or not, but I'm kind of hopeful as we start, we just can't make any more plunges, any lows below the current daily low, and it looks kind of ass, I'll be honest. But even on the 4 hour, that looks good. If they close out the 4 hour like that, it looks good for a little pop, potentially. It's just good buyback. That's all it is. On the 13th here, you can make the argument that it's a V bottom. The problem is that if you look on the daily, like it didn't gain back what was the previous restriction, right? If it would have gained above and then like based here, you can make an argument for it. Ideally, you want to gain something like the local thing would have been gaining that, right? For a B bottom. And then what happened? That became the local restriction. The monthly. Where we're at right now, the thing that would make me the most happy is the buyback end of day today, clearing up here, and then potentially coming back into this stuff over the weekend. We gap back down, we farm out some structure until Thursday, and then we blast off into something like the test there. Because that's the untested swing high on the daily that I want to see tested, at 21.8, something like that. But whether we'll get there or not is a whole different question. Right now, it just looks pretty decent for like strength-wise at the moment. But you have 26 minutes left in the candle, so you'll see what we get, I suppose. Yeah. Yes. ETH, same boat. ETH's a little jankier. It's got a lot of like support and resistances built up in this zone. I don't want to see any new lows from like 1269. If we do, we start getting fearful that we'll run and test the lows there. In which case, Bitcoin should also run test the lows, at least wick down to it, and then buy back above. But this area right here is known as the pain zone. It always is. As these things starts grinding down, there's and it's the hardest thing because everybody wants to like get in positions. For me, it's like I know better at this point. It's designed to take your money. ETH W. Yeah, it's coming down to should come down to at least there. Should, but this thing just being distributed, isn't it?
No. I told you why I did not want to.
Hey, I'm muting you. Sorry, I gotta mute him. All right, so with the Ethereum W, like it is a super hype coin, right? So what we're looking for, at least. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? Like, well, I mean, this thing was just distributed, so why would you even play it out? This thing right now, I mean, the fact that it's perfectly failed its important swing, I would want it to regain that. That to me is like the most important thing. Then I might be interested in longing it back up to some like more structure, higher. But this whole thing tells me short at every opportunity until proven otherwise. Yeah, barely. Yeah, the S&P is doing fine as well. Dixie's testing everything they can. They're squeezing this thing out all the way up into this local restriction, aren't they? Yeah. But nope, Nasdaq's up on the day. Tested. Oh, look at that. Almost perfect test in the green level. Missed it by like $1. We'll see what it does now. Looks like it wants to arc up a little bit, which is cool. But it's almost at the end of the day. It's trading for it. Any last things? Otherwise, I'm probably going to call it for the day. Yeah, repeat everything from Wednesday. No, I've got part of that. The problem is freaking Discord videotaping is kind of ass still. My yeah, plus I opened up like the kilobyte thing on the live stream channel, so it should be much higher potential video quality as well. We'll see what happens, but seems like it could be better at least. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the day. There's not really a whole lot else to talk about. We kind of hit everything this week. But again, guys, like I can't stress this enough. The big stream for for everybody, if you can make it, is next Monday, where Bing's going to set aside at least an hour or two to go over, automation. We'll make sure it's set up. The automation system we're using right now is 3 commas, which I think they have like a free. I'm going to double check. I think we have a. Yeah, we've got. I think we talked to. I got to check my email. I'm pretty sure we talked to him to get an extra one for the people who don't have a thing, so I can get the link for everyone. But I'm running. Yeah, we're running it through. I'm running the trend, the core trend, because we're renaming it from core signals because Google is an asshole if you use the word signals, which I mean is fine. So, but I'm running that on the 1 hour, and I'm running it through FTX on Bitcoin at like 1x spot. So we'll be able to see what at least kicked out after a month, which is nice. Yeah. Oh yeah. Good. Yeah, that's a really important one. I know Rex has been asking for it for a while as well, since he wants to get on that. That it's the future, man. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah, but I think I'll call it there. Sorry, it was a little bit uneventful for the fireside, but we'll have some more stuff again. Monday's the big one, and then plan on having at least 2 more during the week next week, probably Wednesday and Wednesday and Thursday maybe. We'll see. I can't do Friday. We got a big thing on Friday, and then our neighbors are coming over for dinner, so I can't. I gotta go grill shit. So actually, I might. I have a friend who's works on a farm inland, and he wants to go shoot some boar next week. So we'll see. It's delicious. Yeah, it just sucks. When you shoot it, you have to send it away to a lab to get tested first. Here, that's like the rule. They have to anything you kill or anything you hunt, you got to send away if it's wild game to test it to make sure it's not full of like I don't know boar rabies. Oh, I know. It's just yeah. Um. Oh no, we can. That's actually what we've been working on this whole week. Like we're working on 2 things: bringing back the education program that Bitbone Marcus used to run for a while. He ran it like I think 8 or 9 months ago. We're gonna bring back that because it's like is a foundational like full course. Like it's like a 7 or 8 hour instructional course of like from the basics to setting routines and making sure that like you have like a baseline, so to speak. And so we're revamping that course right now and making sure that goes through. And then the other one is we're working on the videos right now for the indicators themselves, how they work, kind of like a finer version of like the promotional stuff that I've done in like live stream explanation. But it's been a pain since only like 2 of the guys on the team. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. You have to talk to Will about that. He handles all the audio, video, and that shit. I have no control over it. He gets mad at me when I stream and I don't stream something right because I'm kind of dumb when it comes to streaming. So, yeah, yeah, I know. That's the thing right now. We're having that like an issue. One of the developers that we're using is on contract, and he's the one running our API system. So that connection, it literally just needs to be turned on, and that's the problem. We've been trying to get a hold of him for like 2 weeks, and he's a freaking MIT student, dude. Like, oh yeah, we that's built into Reversion. Yeah, so you'll be able to see clicks when you get your affiliate link. You'll be able to see clicks. You'll be able to see uh, conversions, and then your total output, and then you can adjust like where you want the output. It's been such a pain because the system's been in place for a while, and then the problem was the connection from Webflow the way we're hosting the website wasn't connecting correctly. And now it's been fixed, and now it's just, implementing it and turning the goddamn thing on finally.